Pre-Algebra, Chapter 5, Section 4, Converting Rates. Dimensional analysis is what we're going to be using today, and it is the process of including units of measurement as factors when you compute. Of including. First, our quick check to make sure we remember what we've done before. So go ahead and stop the video. Check out your math here. So 9 divided by 3/4. That 9 has to become a 9/1 divided by 3/4, which can become 9/1 times 4/3. We can cross reduce, and we get 12. 11/2 divided by 2, or 2/1. So that's 11/2 times 1/2. Nothing can cross reduce, so we end up with 11/24, which is where we would have to leave it. 4/5 divided by 1/2. When we divide by a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal. So 4/5 times 2/1. We can't cross reduce, so we end up with 8/5. 5 goes into 8 one time, and 3 left over. So 1 3/5. On her last science test, Maria answered 5 1/3% of the questions incorrectly. Write 5 1/3% as a fraction in simplest form. It's a percent, so we put it over 100 to turn it into a fraction. So we get 15/16, so we get 16/3 divided by 100 over 1, or 16/3 times 1/100. We can cross reduce here. 4 and then 25 is the most we can do, so we end up with 4/75 as our fraction. Jasmine is making a quilt. She bought 4 1/3 yards of fabric. Her total cost was $26. What was the cost per yard? So they told you how to set up the rate, cost per yard. So I'm going to take 26, and I'm going to divide it by 4 1/3. Of course, that 26 has to be a fraction, so I put it over 1. So we get 26 divided by 12, 13/3, or multiplied times 3/13. I can cross reduce, and I end up with $6 per yard. See. Our question for the chapter, how can you identify and represent proportional relationships? Well, today we're going to see how you can change units with dimensional analysis between systems of measurement, between centimeters and inches, things like that. Convert 100 miles per hour to miles per minute. So here they first started with the units. So miles per hour times hours per minute. When you multiply those two, the hours go away and you're left with miles per minute. So use 1 hour for 60 minutes, so that is the conversion. And then we go ahead and we multiply 100 miles per hour times 1 hour over 60 minutes, because then the hours go away, and the conversion between hours and minutes is 60 minutes for every hour. Cross out the hours, divide 100 by 60, and we get 1.7 miles per 1 minute. So when I set it up, you guys have seen me do this several times over the years. So convert 520 miles per day to miles per hour. So from miles per day to miles per hour. So I'm going to take 520 miles over 1 day. I can get my Y to show up. And then I need to go into, it says miles per hour. So to change that, I need to get rid of the day. So I'm going to put day up here. And I want to put it in hours. So I'll put hours here. Now I need that conversion. Well, I know there's 60 seconds in a minute. And I know that there's there's a fly. I know, let's see, hours. Hours per day. Oh, there's 24 hours in a day. I don't have to count minutes. So every 1 day there are 24 hours. My days are going to cross down as I multiply across. I get 520 miles over 24 hours. So I take 520 divided by 24. And I get, rounding here is 10. So I get 21.7 miles So Tyree and 3 friends attend skydiving class before their first jump. The instructor tells them they will travel at about 176 feet per second. How many miles per hour is this? So we want to go from feet per second to miles per hour. So we're converting 2 things here. When they set it up, so we want to convert feet per second to miles per hour, use 1 mile as 5,280 feet, and 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So we go through. We once again set it up so they have, they're getting rid of the, I think they're doing everything together. So they have 176 feet for 1 second. So here they change our feet to miles, and they change our seconds to hours, which is perfectly fine. You can set it all up in one. A lot of times I do it in 2 just to make sure that I have everything right and keep track of everything. A swimming pool is being filled with water at about 300 gallons per 1 hour. How many quarts per second is this? Well, there's 4 quarts in a gallon. That's my first one. I want to get rid of gallon, and I want to go to quarts. So there's 4 quarts per 1 gallon. If we set it all up in one, I want to do it per second. So I'm going to have to put hours here, and I'm going to put seconds here. And I know there's 3,600 seconds per 1 hour. So now my hours go away. When I multiply across, I get 1,200 quarts, quarts being the only unit I have left on top. I have 3,600 seconds, seconds being the only unit I have left on bottom. 1,200 divided by 3,600 gives me, and I'm to the nearest tenth again, so 0.3 quarts per second. So it's just a matter of saying, what do I have? What do I need to get rid of? Where do I put it so it cross-reduces out? Complete each conversion round to the nearest hundredth. 12 centimeters to inches. So use 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So 12 centimeters, and you can see how they have it set up here. 12 centimeters. They want to get rid of the centimeters. So that's why they are across and down from each other, or catty corner to each other in the fraction multiplication here. And when you multiply across and you divide down, you get 4.72 inches. 4 quarts to liters. So we have 0.946 liters to a quart. So this is when we're going between systems, between metric and American or standard. And we do the same thing. So let's go try a couple of these. So complete each conversion round to the nearest hundredth. So 4 pounds. I want to change that to kilograms. And you can always go to the very back of your book, and you will find conversions there on that last page. So we want to go pounds to kilograms. Okay, it took a minute to find the kilograms, so there's 1 kilogram for every 2.2 pounds. So our pounds will go away, and we'll get 4 kilograms per divided by 2.2, so 4 divided by 2.2, and we're going to the nearest hundredth, 1.81 kilograms. 15 meters, we want to turn into feet. So I need to get rid of the meters. Okay, so we want to go to feet. And let me see. In our book, they actually don't give us a feet to meter conversion. What they give us is meters to inches. And they say that 1 meter is equal to 39.37 inches. But I can do one more conversion here, and I can get rid of inches, and I can go to that feet that I want, because I know that one pretty easy. There's 12 inches to 1 foot. So my meters go away, my inches go away, and as I multiply across, I have 15 feet on top divided by 12. So in my calculator, I get 15 divided by 12. So we end up with 1 25/100 of a foot. So you can see, let's see, if we had done 15 meters, so 1 meter to 3 feet, that would not have worked. I did not multiply across. Space, wake up. 15 times 39.37 gives us 590.55. Now divide by 12, and we get 49.21 feet. Now, a lot of times we've heard that a meter is about 3 feet, kind of like a yard, but as you can tell, it's not. So we could have tried 15 meters and then meters, 1 meter to 3 feet. We would have gotten 45 feet, okay? But that's not correct. We need to use our correct conversions here. So make sure you're paying attention. And sometimes you have to do 2 conversions to get the right answer. At top speed, a giant tortoise can travel about 900 feet per hour. How many centimeters per second can a giant tortoise travel at top speed? So again, you're doing 2 here. Looks like we're doing a lot of conversions if you look at this one. So let's just go on and try one. A cyclist is cycling about 3 kilometers per hour. Round to the nearest 100. How many feet per second is that? So we want to go to feet per second. So we're going to start with kilometers per hour. And our conversion between kilometers and feet, well, we have kilometer and mile. So 1 kilometer is equal to 0.62 miles. Now I want to get rid of miles and go to feet. There are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So now my kilometers go away, my miles go away. You can go ahead and multiply this out if you want to see something not so, so many fractions out there. So 3 times 0.62 times 5,280 gives me 9,820.8 feet per hour. But now I need to change hours to seconds. 9,820.8 feet over 1 hour. We want to go to seconds. I can go ahead. 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. Sure. So when I multiply across, I get 9,820.8 foot per 3,600 seconds. So I divide that. And since I'm going to the nearest 100, I get an answer of 2,730 feet per second. Again, our vocabulary was dimensional analysis. We have some units of measurement in our book. So in our section, you can go ahead and see it there. You can write it down. You're going to need to reference this quite a bit. You can always go to the back of the book and find a nice big list as well on that last page. How to help you answer the question? Well, we learned how to do dimensional analysis, which shows me proportional relationships because they are the same, they're just in a different form. A good question here at the end is write how the previous lesson on unit rates helped you understand the lesson on converting rates. First, you have to know what rates are before you can convert them.